And we're back here, another Print Factory for the Super Bowl, baby. Run Pure Sports has got you covered. We're going to go through DFS. We're going to go through props. We're going to take you through Gambly, powered by Gambly, this show. Run Pure Sports. Big T's going to show off the old Gambly. We're going to find some sweet prop bets for the Super Bowl. And we got the full crew today, ODB, Big T, and of course myself here running the ship. Big T, I'll throw to you first here, as you were so pumped that you were first in the StreamYard room waiting for this show to start. I'm proud of you. You got here on time for once in your career. How does it feel?
I mean, I'm a closer. When it comes closing time, it's Super Bowl week. You got to know when to close things out. You got to get to the finish line, and that's what we do. Me and ODB, we're in here waiting for you. We're closers. Well, that's what we do. I'm looking forward to it, though, because there's a lot of opportunity. Super Bowl week, a lot of opportunity. You got to be dialed in. A lot of winners out there, props, games, DFS, a lot of action. That's what the three of us like. So let's see if we can dial in some stuff and figure out if we can beat the Chiefs or not.
Not just the three of us here. Everyone watching this show wants action. That's why they're watching this show. They want action. They don't actually like these two teams unless they are Chiefs or Eagles people. No one wants to actually see this game, but they want action on this game no matter what. So who do we go to? ODB, the actual sharp guy in this room here. ODB, how you feeling here? Super Bowl week.
Wow, the sharp guy in the room. I'm in a room full of I'm a marble in a room full of marbles.
That was the nicest thing I could have said.
I know. I'm sure
he's nice, and then he comes right back and calls us marbles. I mean,
you caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting you to be nice. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was like, after the teams that I really wanted to see fell hard a couple weeks ago, I really wanted Baltimore and Detroit, and maybe, I even enjoyed watching some Minnesota and Rams and Tampa and Washington and Josh Allen, and like just all these teams that like I was excited to see in the game. I was like, I'm not excited about this Super Bowl. I might not even, like, I'm just disinterested. And then as it's gone, it's like I've gotten more and more interested in this game. And yeah, it's interesting. I think this game really it's just two teams that are probably universally hated by everyone outside of their fan bases. So I think we can all unite in which team we hate more. I think everybody really hates like Jalen Hurts, his smug looks, Sirianni and his goofy ass grin, the annoying Eagles fans and all that. And then, I mean, everybody in the world hates the Chiefs and Mahomes, and his lucky self, and, his State Farm commercials, and Taylor and Travis. And I mean, come on, that's just like two teams that you hate. But it kind of, like back in the olden days when, I was growing up, and it's like we lived to hate the Yankees and the Cowboys and Notre Dame. And it's like you almost unite more over hatred than you do about love. I remember like just watching some show, and they were talking about like relationships, and it's like your relationships kind of bond over not necessarily things that you love together, but things you hate together. And, I kind of feel like as football fans, we can all unite in hating one of these teams. Unfortunately, we're going to have to choose a winner, and we're going to have to root for one of them, because in order for one of them to lose, one of them has to win. So I'll be interested. I know you guys are not really Eagles or Chiefs fans. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you guys' thoughts are.
Yes, it will be interesting. We got a few homers in the chat. First off, our resident Eagles homer, K. Reed. He's a big fan of ODB right now. He says, "Go Birds." I hope your team loses, K. Reed. And then we've got Derek, who I assume is a Chiefs fan here, saying, "How about them Chiefs?" I lost that. Oh, here we go. How about them Chiefs, right? So we got a little both here. And then we got Jerry, who's pumped to see all of us. I like someone who's pumped to see all three of us. They give us all the username with the tag right there. That's always nice. So we appreciate everyone, even the Eagles fans, for being here and watching this show. Don't forget to hit the like button as well, as this is a free show. And my guy Rick Majerus is here drinking warm water right here. Appreciate you, Rick. Love that.
Mine's cold, straight from the fridge.
Oh, gross. Absolutely. Seriously, ice cold water is the worst. I can't even do it. I literally, room temperature is okay. Ice cold is just not good. It's just not good.
Feels so good going down.
Tastes so good when it hits your lips.
Yeah, it sure does.
Benair is here, so we can start. He says, let's go Taylor Swift. So I assume he's on the Chiefs, but we'll see as this show goes on. First of all, Tony, I have to get to this question here because right when I saw it, I was like, this is the perfect way to start a showdown show. And it was pretty much just Sam asking Big T, what your thoughts on the line would be if the Bengals versus the Eagles were the Super Bowl. So we got to start the show off right here. And it has to be, since it's not hoops, so we can't talk about Jokic and it is football, we got to bring the Bengals into this conversation. What would the line be, Big T? Eagles,
Bengals would win the game. I know that much, but what would the spread be? Eagles minus a field goal.
Eagles minus a field goal. Okay. Yeah. I think you're right. I think it would be Eagles minus a field goal. I think 3.5, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I think that was my biggest bets of the year this year was the Eagles versus the Bengals. The Eagles just curb stomped them. That was the easiest bet of the year.
I'll give you credit, ODB. You've been on the Eagles a lot this year. That's one thing you've definitely been on this team a lot this year. So, I mean, I'll throw it to you first here. How you feeling? Let's first start off with the game, who we like in this game before we get into props or DFS Showdown, which we'll talk about all that stuff. So if you're looking for the DraftKings Showdown winners, if you're looking for prop bets, we'll get to all that stuff. But first, we got to talk about the full game here. Which side are you on, ODB? Eagles, Chiefs? It's 1.5. It's pretty much stayed 1.5, I think. Chiefs favored slightly over the Eagles, but the line feels like it's moving a little towards Philly. Just a little.
Well, I mean, I've consumed a lot of content these 2 weeks because, all the content's about this one game. And, I got to see where the resident experts that I listen to, where they come down. And they basically all say the same thing. They all say that every model has the Eagles being the better team. The Eagles have the better roster. The Eagles are just the better team top to bottom. But you can't fade Mahomes' magic. Look, I watch football all the time, and I like my teams built physically tough. I like them strong on the lines. I like them physically dominant, and I like them to be able to have playmakers. I don't really want to rely on voodoo. So, I mean, there's only one way to go. I mean, there's really only one way to go on this team. Who's got the best offensive line? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the best defensive line? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the best playmakers? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who has the best roster top to bottom? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the best backline defense? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the best red zone defense? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the better short yardage game? The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's got the magic at the end and gets every break and fumble in the Super Bowl? And the Chiefs. Who do you trust to get the call when he's about ready to get sacked and the helmet grazes his shoulder pad? The Chiefs. But look, I'm just going to go based on what I've seen in my years of watching football, and I'm going to bet on the physically dominant team, and I'm not going to rely on some magic. A lot of these people I listen to, they're like, well, can I bet the Philadelphia Eagles to be leading after 58 minutes? It's like, why? You're betting on magic. Like, bet on David Copperfield. Like, yes, he's done it, but it's a small sample size. Let's just bet on the team who we think is going to dominate the game for the whole game. And so, yeah, I like the Eagles. I like alt lines. I do think that if it's a close game, obviously I'm scared to death of Mahomes. That's why I really just think like you can get good value on these alt lines. The Eagles know that they cannot risk it being close again, and they're not going to stop. So I think they're going to put it on them. I think they're going to go up big, and they're going to take this out of the refs' hands. So they're going to take it out of Mahomes' magic hands. And yeah, I've already got in my accounts. I've got Eagles minus 7.5. I have Eagles minus 10.5. Eagles minus 14.5. Eagles minus 17.5. I don't know if they'll get all the way up to 17.5, but getting almost 10-1 sprinkled a little there. But I do think this game falls somewhere between 7 and 17 points for the Eagles. So yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I think this is a really good opportunity to have the best team that somehow isn't a favorite.
I knew which team you were going to go to because I know you, and you always go with the team that's got the better lines on both sides. You always go with those type of teams. So I figured you were just going to stick on the Eagles here. Big T, you've been, I'll say this about you. You've been kind of cagey. Earlier in the week, you told me you were betting the Eagles. And then, as the week has gone on, I've heard you kind of talk the Chiefs side a little bit, how you might be going that way. So you've been a little wishy-washy. I can't tell if that's just you playing both sides to keep people guessing for this show. I think I'm right too. I think you were just fucking with all of us because on the phone like a week ago, he literally told me he was going to bet the Eagles. And I don't know if that's the case. So tell me, which side are you on? ODB's on the Eagles. Are you on Mahomes Magic or Jalen Hurts?
So, I mean, ODB read off like 47 different things, but I was reading my notepad, my Run Pure notepad. It says Sirianni and Jalen Hurts versus Big Red and Patrick Mahomes. That's all. I mean, we don't need magic when it's Big Red and Big Pat versus Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Oh, my God. Do you remember the last time they played? Hurts just drops the ball and they take it to the house. I mean, oh, my. I'm on the Chiefs. I'm not letting Patrick Mahomes beat me again. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be the one on the Twitter. Oh, the refs, they beat me. The refs, they did this. Oh, the call, they did. Pat, AP, where's AP at? AP, let's ride, baby.
Wow.
You got that flag on Twitter. You know how he does the KC Royals with the flag, and you're going to be holding that flag, the KC flag, running around the field and stuff. He's going to put your face on it, though, and you're going to be running around at the end of the day on Twitter.
Baby.
All right. Well, see, I knew Tony was doing this. I knew he was.
I knew he was lurking. Let's go, AP. It's time.
All right, but go K Reed, by the way. Also, K Reed told me that he's always, Big T's the sharpest one of the group. So he was, riding Big T. So K Reed, are you gonna roll with the sharp guy? You said Big T's been the most right in the playoffs. So you might need to switch your pick here. That's all I'm going to say if Big T's been right the most in the playoffs. So I went through this game. I said to myself, John, which team do you I did. No, I did. I looked in the mirror. I actually said my name, which I never say my name, by the way. That's probably the first time you've ever heard me say my own name. I guarantee that's the first time you've ever heard me say my own name. And I said, John, which team do you really not want to see win a chip because their fan base absolutely blows? So I went on Twitter. I looked at the Chiefs fans. They're the worst. They suck. And then I looked at the Eagles fans and I was just like, these people are just awful. They're hounding people. They're making fun of people with the different jerseys as they're walking away after their team loses and they're all set. They're terrible. I cannot pick the Eagles in good consciousness. I am taking Big Red and Pat Mahomes because I, like Tony, do not want to be on Twitter complaining like I was after the Bills game about being on the wrong side of the refs or anything else.
It feels better when you know you can't lose. It just feels
I'm telling you. And I'll tell you right now, if the Eagles just whoop their ass in like no amount of ref show could help them, I'll just say hello. That's fine. That's okay. That's okay to me. but this game's going to be close. This game is not going to be a blowout. The Chiefs never play blowout. The Chiefs never blow people out. They struggle to cover, by the way, but this
Chiefs
is one
definitely aren't going to blow the Eagles out.
Yeah, if there's a
Eagles
blowout,
could
it's
definitely
on
blow
the
the Chiefs
Eagles
out.
side. Exactly. If it's a blowout, it's on the Eagles side. But I don't think it's a blowout. This game is going to play within 3 points of each other. I guarantee it's going to come down to a field goal. We know how it's going to roll. One team's going to get the ball at the end, and they're going to get the field goal, and the game's going to be over. So, Big T, in honor of this show, in the first bet of this show, do you know what I'm placing right now? You and ODB can guess. I guarantee you could guess.
I'm going to guess that you play that the game lands on exactly 3.
No, but close. No. Chiefs money line and Philadelphia to cover 2.5. That gets me 10-1.
That's
then
all
I
get
get Chiefs,
10-1 odds.
You have Chiefs by 1 or 2?
Yeah, exactly. So
I
get the Chiefs money line and the Eagles to cover that 2.5. This game is going to fall within 3, so it's going to fall in that 1 to 2 range. So I'm going to win that bet. That's in honor of this show.
You're starting the show with that?
No, that's in honor of this show.
Well,
that's
I get
in honor
that.
of.
I mean, I get the joke of it. You can't start with that though. Only 10-1. That should be like 20-1 or something.
Why would that be? Well, yeah, I agree with you. It should be more.
And they're 1
I agree with you. It should be more, but I'm just placing it as a fun joke in this show.
I agree with you.
But you just ruined it. No, you ruined it. Like I was gonna place it, and it was gonna be fun, and you ruined it.
It's gonna be super fun when the Eagles are up by 18.
Dude, ODB, they're not winning by 18. They're not going up on the Chiefs.
I'm gonna look at this exact score. Do they have that
18,
thing?
You're gonna bet
exact margin.
He's betting Philly or KC by 1 or 2, and you're betting the Eagles by 18.
I'll tell you right now, I like my side more than his.
I'm getting 10-1. I'm getting 10-1 on that one too.
Isn't it 10-1 too?
Margin of victory. You can.
Is your side 10-1?
Yeah.
Is your side 10-1? Oh, I'll take my side all day.
10-1?
Yeah.
All day.
I was winning by 18, only 10-1.
975.
The spread's 1.5. How is it?
I like
10-1?
I like 10.5. 10.5's the sweet spot. 455. 7.5. 325. That's what I got. I think
these numbers not bigger. Sportsbooks are robbing people.
Dude, Rob, I'd
come at the other side.
I'd sign the shit out of CTE ESPN right now. I'd sign me up, bro. AB, funniest guy on Twitter. Sign me the fuck up. I'm ready. I'll be.
You guys spend your entire life watching sports. Like literally, that's all you do.
Mm-hmm.
We watch sports. Bench time. Don't discount our bench time.
You put a few minutes in on the bench, but for the most part, you watch sports, you analyze sports, you talk about sports, you text about sports, you sleep sports, you wake up, you refresh Twitter, which is all sports. Then you watch sports all day and you bet on sports, and then you go to bed and then you do the same thing every single day. And you guys who do nothing but analyze sports are going to look and say, I believe in the magic. I believe in magic. It doesn't matter what my eyes see. It doesn't matter.
You know what I saw?
It doesn't matter size, speed, anything. What matters is that one team has got. Okay, so come on. This is basically, you're like looking at the poker player and like, I want to bet on the guy who has won 3 straight all-ins with 6'4" offsuit versus the guy who actually knows how to.
I want to bet on
poker.
Josh Aryeh, who wins 2 bracelets and gets lucky. I like luck on my side.
I also will take a little luck.
Well, Mahomes is pretty good with the magic. I get the best. The magic.
Can we break down this game? Let's actually talk about. Let's talk about the X's and O's of the game. Let's talk about the X's and O's about this.
I want to hear you talk to me or tell me why I should bet on the side where the quarterback in 2 of the 3 playoff games has thrown for 126 and 131 yards, and now he's got to go play the Chiefs. in probably a spot where he's going to have to actually throw more than 20 fucking times, 20 attempts. He's 20 and 21 attempts in those 2 games that I'm talking about here against the Rams and the Packers. Now he's got to play the Chiefs. He's going to actually have to throw. Like, do we think that Saquon is going to keep ripping off 50-yard runs against the Chiefs? The Chiefs have been stopping big plays all year. So tell me why. I get it. The Eagles have had big plays all year. So it's like a contrast here. But tell me why you think Saquon is just going to keep doing that and Jalen Hurts is not going to have to throw, because right now that's their offense. Their offense is, unless these teams literally force us to throw, and even then, when the boxes are loaded, they still run the ball with Saquon, and he still will rip off runs, as crazy as that is. But like they're throwing the ball 20 times. Tell me why you're picking that team against Mahomes and Andy Reid.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you why I'm picking that team against Mahomes and Andy Reid. Because Hurts has only had to throw that much because he's only had to throw that much. The team is built on a dominant offensive line and a good running quarterback that is built to play 4 downs of football and get the ball, get the down and distance into 3rd and short and 4th and short, where they have the most unstoppable play in football. And don't give me that the Chiefs stopped Josh Allen, who ran it over the left guard instead of straight up the fucking center. I mean,
I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
Can Saquon Barkley do it again? Yes. The team is built on a dominant offensive line and a running back that makes guys miss. Can Jalen Hurts complete passes to Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert when the Chiefs cheat on the run? Yes, he can. Was Jalen Hurts absolutely unbelievable against the Commanders? Yes, he was. Did he do enough to get the job done in the other games? Yes. Was he not? Was Jalen Hurts amazing in the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs? He was. He was set up to be MVP. Yes, he had a stupid fumble. You're just going to count on that again?
The Eagles have counted on turnovers all playoffs.
Because the Eagles have the most dominant defensive line in football. That's what happens. Look, Mahomes is a screen merchant. He's not even like a super quarterback anymore. He has the lowest distance of completion of any team and any quarterback in the entire NFL. You know, you want to shit on Bo Nix because he throws the ball short, and Goff because he throws these underneath routes to St. Brown. Mahomes is number 1. He throws the shortest completion, and the Eagles have the best defense. They're not going to let these plays escape them, and Mahomes isn't going to have time to escape back there. So the only thing we have to avoid is Jalen Carter getting Mahomes to miss him on the initial read and accidentally brushing his face mask and getting a 15-yard penalty on 3rd and 11. I mean, that's basically all we have to avoid. The Eagles' offense is going to cook. The Chiefs' defense is not going to be able to stop them. The Chiefs' offense runs exactly like the Commanders' runs. They count on ball control, a lot of short plays, and then being able to luck out at the end and have your quarterback do something ridiculous. Well, how did the Eagles stop that? They didn't let them in the end zone, and then they put the wood to them on offense. This is what's going to happen again. I can't believe that you guys are I'm a dead ass bobblehead. I don't even know what that means, but that's pretty good. I like it. Bobblehead. But anyway, yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. But this is not even going to be a good Super Bowl. This is going to be the end of the Chiefs era. This is the end. The end comes on Sunday.
The end.
Enjoy this, Chiefs Nation. Okay. This is your last time to the Super Bowl for a while.
All right, Tony, you wanna give your rebuttal to why you like the Chiefs over the Eagles here?
I mean, I already gave my whole rebuttal is I got the better coach, the better quarterback, and the team that never loses football games. I don't need anything else.
That's it. There's your
rebuttal.
And
you get to go against K. Reed. So there's like 3 things there.
I mean, I actually like rooting with K. Reed. We've done well. We've been on the Eagles a lot of the year. we kind of buddied up a little bit. But you got to know when to get off the ship. You got to know when to get off the ship, K-Reed.
I'm calling you out. You were on the Packers. You were on the Rams. I was also on both those too, but you were on the Packers and the Rams. When were you holding hands with K-Reed all year?
The Eagles were the best team in the NFC every week on the show. Did I not? Yeah, I picked against them those 2 weeks for sure.
No, ODB did not like the Pack over the Eagles CTK.
My statement was
ODB was the only one who didn't, I think.
That my number one pick that week was the Eagles. I got a lot wrong first week, but Eagles were number one pick.
Yeah, and I got a lot right. My only wrong was that damn game. So fuck everything.
Well, you've been 0 for 3 betting against the Eagles.
Oh no, the Eagles have definitely been my kryptonite. I'll say that. Actually, no, I'm not 0 for 3 because the Rams covered. Yeah, they didn't win, but they covered. Yeah, I got it at 6.5. They covered.
The Rams were in that game.
Okay.
That was 28-22.
I laid the wood on both of you guys last show anyways. Again, the Eagles, the Chiefs, laid the smackdown on both of you.
You had the best last round. I think I had the best first round.
Didn't I say Eagles, Chiefs?
I'm not sure on the second round. I'm not sure on the second round.
I haven't been good these playoffs, but I have had the Eagles every week.
And you got the Eagles. You can stand triumphant at the top when the Eagles get it done on Sunday.
Problem is, I can't even come back and gloat until the preseason show.
Yeah, that's what you got Twitter for, bro. You can make a fun video and call us all Chiefs donkeys and whatever else when your team wins by 18 or something like that. So, all right. So Tony said his rebuttal is pretty much, I got the best coach and quarterback. I mean, I kind of second that all. I just don't understand how anyone could. I don't understand how anyone could think that the Chiefs are just going to get blown out, and it's not going to happen.
It's going to be the line of scrimmage if it happens. Like the whole game's going to come down to, can the Eagles get Mahomes rushing forward?
I'm sorry, in a blizzard, they couldn't blow out the Rams. The Packers, the Packers were down all of their good players.
And then just say the same thing. That's what happened. You guys are just saying the same things over and over.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah. I literally just said the Eagles couldn't blow out the Packers, who were down everybody. Blew out the
Chiefs in the Super Bowl, so they can be blown out when they get pressure on
them. You don't think the Packers got blown out? I mean, maybe the final score was only 12.
And it was a 7-point game or something like that, or whatever it was.
The game was never close. Never in doubt. Not one time.
Yes, it was.
The same thing. You guys are going to tilt me from the first week again when JSU was claiming Buffalo killed Denver and they didn't. And you claim Philly killed Green Bay and they didn't.
Denver. You're so
the same game. They were both close games in the second half. Like,
close games in the second half. What are you on, drugs?
It was 16-7 at halftime. Like they didn't do anything.
God, they dominated they had the ball the whole first half.
Okay, Ty Johnson, get your big toe down inbounds so we can go up 2 scores.
Denver had the ball for 2 minutes in the half. Literally,
they didn't score, but Buffalo didn't score.
Oh God! All right, whatever. They got field goals. They didn't do nothing. They just held the ball for the whole fucking half. They didn't dominate.
Didn't do nothing. They were up. I mean, they literally. And then all of it. So you got a toe tap from Ty Johnson and a nuke from Samuel. Okay, 2 just dominant plays.
Your team lost 40-something to 10 or whatever. I don't want to hear it from you. Your team lost
40-10. Like,
listen, my team's lost too. Okay, I'll accept it. My Washington team got beat by 50 last week.
Like, actually beat by 50 though. It was 50 the whole game.
Dude, don't come to me though and say Denver didn't get fucking stomped. Like it happens.
It was 10-7 at halftime.
Why is Denver catching strays today?
Because Tony brought him up.
JSU goes on Twitter and Jaden Daniels wins Rookie of the Year, and he goes, "This is for all the Bo Nix donkeys." It's like the Bo Nix donkeys didn't say he was Rookie of the Year. They said,
they did. All year in my fucking Twitter feed, I heard Bo Nix Rookie of the Year.
I mean, he was never going to get Rookie of the Year because it's all slanted anyway. The media is slanted. Yeah. They hate Bo Nix. It was all slanted
after Washington beat the Bengals on primetime. After that, it was done. You were dead after that. Like
after he completes a Hail Mary, that's just basically
That game was a little later though, but that too also that
he was great. Jaden Daniels was great. I'm not going to talk shit about Jaden. He was great.
They were both great. They were both great. I'll give you guys credit. You were first on Bo. He was good, just not good enough to be Rookie of the Year. That was Jaden Daniels. All right.
He wasn't Rookie of the Year. He was MVP. I like that one.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. Do you guys want to go showdown winners and then we'll look at props? Tony,
yeah, let's talk about the showdown because I'm trying to work on that.
All right, let's do that here. So start at the top. We'll do the same thing we always do. We'll talk about captains and then we'll work our way down through into the flex. So top tier guys, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce. Let's just cut it right there. So 9K and above. Saquon, 12K too. That's a huge price tag here for Saquon. But he's been really good in the playoffs. I think he's had, 34 and 42 the last 2 games. Green Bay only 17. But, I mean, that's the type of player. If he has those multiple big plays, he's going to put up 30 plus fantasy points. If he gets more than one big play, he's putting up 30 plus fantasy points here. It's just the price tag. Can he do it at that price tag? Tony, I'll throw it to you first here. What are you doing at the top with these captains?
Yeah, it's going to be one of those slates where it's interesting because there's not like amazing values, but there are guys you can play down low, and just talking straight Millie Maker format too, where a lot of the casuals are going to want to play that. I think you can take some chances down low. And with the ceilings of these studs, I would say down to worthy. I mean, so you got Saquon, Hurts, Mahomes, obviously at the top. And then you got AJ Brown, Kelce, Xavier Worthy. I feel pretty confident that one of those 6 is going to be in the winner at captain. I don't always say that too. A lot of times I do like the mid-range and think you can kind of get in there and sprinkle it. I just think in the Super Bowl, you get more random trick plays too and stuff where a couple of these cheap guys, I think, have potential to do some stuff. So I'm going to go up top, and I just like the Chiefs guys because the hard part for me is with Saquon and Hurts. I feel like they take enough away from each other that I'd rather play one of them in the flex. You could do either Saquon and someone else or like Hurts and AJ Brown type thing in the flex. But for me, I like Xavier Worthy again. And it's partly the reason what ODB said, where everything's underneath, blah, 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 too deep. Xavier Worthy's had so many opportunities this year deep. They just miss him. I just think he's really good. And I think 2-week game plan, I think they're going to catch him deep a few times. And Worthy's going to be my favorite captain out of the gate. But I do like Kelce. Kelce's always good in these big games. I think they might need Kelce a little bit more around the same as usual. He can't move anymore. So dump offs. He could catch a bunch of ball, like 10 for 60 or something. But I think Worthy has that game-winning upside that I want. So I'm more there. And actually the Eagles side, if I play the Eagles, I'm going to be more A.J. Brown than Saquon and Hurts and the captain. So I'm kind of looking in that range. Worthy number 1 for me, A.J. Brown number 2, Kelce probably number 3 for me in that range.
Okay, so Worthy, Saquon, AJ Brown. Is that what you said?
Worthy, AJ Brown, Kelce. I won't play much.
So you will have Eagles in the captain. It sounded like when you were talking.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a close game. I think it's a high scoring close game where I think they make the Eagles pass. So I like that. I'm actually lower on Saquon than the field will be for sure.
Yeah, I'll just quickly hit on it. So Saquon and Hurts, you're probably going to want one of them because of the rushing upside. I'm going to probably lean Saquon over Hurts. Even if they like what Tony's saying, like make them like they're still going to run the football a ton, even in looks where it doesn't look that great or advantageous for Saquon to run through because he's just been doing it all game. Now, I think the Chiefs are much better at tackling. So, obviously in a lot of Saquon's big runs, he's getting into that second level. And then once he gets into that second level, those safeties are really struggling or taking poor angles. The corners are missing tackles. The Chiefs corners they're much better at tackling. So if they can just make those 50-yard touchdowns only 10 or 12, like I think they can keep his upside in check. So I think he's a winner, just a winner in the flex, not the captain. If all I have to do is stop 2 big plays, he can have one big run. One big run at that price tag isn't going to hurt you. It's if he rips off like 2 50-yarders, you're probably drawing dead if he's going for like 35 plus fantasy points. But if we can keep it to 1 or just no like massive plays and he hits the 20s, he's going to be in the flex, just not in the captain. So I'm going to play Barkley just in the flex. I think for me, my favorite is definitely Kelsey. What Tony's talking about with him, not being able to move as well or whatever he was saying, I just think with Kelsey, he's a guy that he still has it. He just doesn't have it all the time. He can't do it like every game. And I think it's what we saw like in the regular season. Like go through the regular season in spots, he dominated. It was very specific spots. And it was actually spots where it was like great matchups for him to dominate too. Well, the Eagles are a really good matchup for him to dominate. This is a team that has struggled against the tight end. The Rams are a really, really sharp team. The Rams had a ton of success in a blizzard playing this team. And what did they do at the very beginning of the game? They peppered the shit out of the tight end. Unfortunately, Tyler Higbee got hurt after like, I don't know, what was it, a quarter or whatever? He was smashing. He had like 9 or 10 fantasy points in a quarter, and then he got hurt. I think it was a chest, and he had to go out. I think a backup tight end scored a touchdown like in the third quarter against this team. It was like Hunter Long or something like that. So, the Eagles have struggled against the tight end. We saw what Zach Ertz did, and Zach Ertz literally can't move. So, Tony, you said Travis Kelce can't move. Well, if Zach Ertz can do what he did, then I'm not worried about Travis Kelce. He's gonna be fine, and he's gonna probably have double-digit targets here. Mahomes is not going out, not throwing to his boy and getting him involved in this game. So even though I know what you're talking about with Worthy's upside and everything like that, I just think it's a Kelce game. I think it's a clear Kelce spot. I think it's a clear tight end spot on both sides. So I actually love both tight ends. I think Dallas Goedert is a really good tight end play on the other side, not to move too far down because he is more like mid-tier captain. But yeah, I'm going to be heaviest on Travis Kelce captain. I think it would be him 1, and then I'll probably say Mahomes 2, just because I don't think they're going to have success running the football, and I think you're going to see Mahomes use his legs a lot more, like he did last game, 11 rushing attempts. I think we see another 10-plus rushing attempts from him, and I think they're going to need to win via the pass. I don't think they're going to be able to run the football as well against the Eagles. So I think Mahomes and Kelce are my 2 favorite targets in the captain up top. ODB, what do you like here? Big T likes Worthy. I like Kelce. Where are you at?
I mean, I think it's just clear Barkley or Hurts to me. I mean, I think they're going to have the ball the most of the game. I think that the Eagles are way more condensed offensively than the Chiefs. I think that it's kind of just a spaghetti against the wall approach with the Chiefs that, I don't really like the running backs, but, I know that people think that Hunt has the job, but we've seen in the Super Bowl where Andy Reid likes to play the not the plotting guy as much. McKinnon got a lot of work in the Super Bowl. Damian Williams had a lot of work in the Super Bowl. So I could see like maybe going back and giving Pacheco a little more work. I do think that the Eagles are going to be up front, are going to be in front in this game. So I can see some P. Ryan being at the back end. The problem with the Chiefs is they just, Juju gets snaps. Hollywood gets a lot of snaps. Hopkins is going to get a few snaps. They have 2 tight ends with Kelce and Gray. They have Worthy up top. I don't think that there's a lot of explosive plays to be had by the Chiefs. So I do like having some of the Chiefs guys, but I'm probably going to stay away from Mahomes just because I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball. I mean, Jaden Daniels couldn't even run the ball much versus this Eagles team. Jordan Love didn't run the ball. I just don't think that he's going to. People want to look at his playoff success running the football, which he has had. He does run it a lot more, but I don't think that he will be able to do it as successfully because the front line is so good, which lets the linebackers kind of cheat up and spy a little bit. So I can see the Chiefs guys getting a lot of catches, but I don't see a lot of yards and touchdowns. I see more of a bend, don't break. And I think the Eagles are going to have the ball. My only question really comes down to whether I want to play Goddard or Smith. Goddard is projected equally pretty much as Smith from what I've seen across industry, but I think Smith has a higher ceiling. So I think he'll probably be lower ownership with a higher ceiling at the higher price tag. So I kind of like Smith a little bit. I don't like AJ Brown at all. Just because I think they have a really good corner that's gonna, name's escaping me right now, but that they're gonna take Brown out a little bit. So I think it's gonna be Barkley, Hurts, and then the auxiliary pieces of Goddard and Smith more than Brown. So yeah, that's kind of my take. I think that Barkley and Hurts are just getting 1.5. Like there's so many good pieces between P. Ryan, Juju, Hopkins, the kickers, like whatever. I just think that you can find, I think you can find Chiefs points elsewhere, and you just can't find it on the Eagles. Like Dotson sucks, Calcaterra sucks, Gainwell gets a few snaps, but he's still 3,400 for not even that many snaps. Shipley's not going to play. So it's just like, I just don't really know where you get those extra points from the Eagles. So if I think the Eagles are going to have the ball 35 to 40 minutes and they only have really five guys who can get points, I think I just want to lean into the Eagles up top and then the Chiefs down low in my builds.
I'll tell you one thing. If they cheat up and spy like they did on Jaden Daniels to Pat Mahomes, he's going to have a field day throwing to Kelsey over that middle. So I hope those linebackers do that. If he can't run,
yeah, I do like.
They are not doing that against Pat
Kelsey.
Mahomes.
Yeah, I like Kelsey, but he's fucking expensive.
Here's the thing though, like Pat Mahomes, they did run some design runs for him, which was interesting last game. But like a lot of the runs he's had, like they're just like in the pocket, and then he escapes, and it's all because they're trying to. They're trying not to overrush and because you make the big play and then everything. And then he just finds a lane and he goes. That's more what I'm saying. Like, I think he's going to have those opportunities in this type of game. I don't think they're going to have that type of attention, Jaden, because Jaden's literally all the time he wants to get out there and run. And they knew that. So they were like, let's stop him from rolling right and let's stop him from running as best we can. And they did a really good job of that, and that caused issues for Jaden Daniels, obviously. Mahomes is harder to do, I think.
Do we remember the Texans game where the defensive line just dominated the Chiefs' offensive line? I mean, the
Texans have a really good defensive line, yeah.
And the Eagles' defensive line is better. I mean, the defensive line is insanely talented, and like you can't really get to Mahomes.
The best interior defensive lineman in football. We all know that.
So I put a small play on him at 125 to 1 to win MVP, just for shits and giggles that he could cause a couple sack fumbles. I think he's one of the most important guys in the entire game. And that's the thing, like exploiting the weakness of the Chiefs is exploiting that tackle vulnerability that they have, and who's better to do it than the Eagles? And if the front four can do it and you have 7 back, it's a lot easier than when you're rushing 5 and 6 and having to find those seams when there's 5 or 6 rushing is a lot different than when finding the seams when you have to when you're doing it with 4 rushing. So that's why I really think that the Eagles defensively can cause problems.
Yeah, I mean the Eagles do have if they can get there with 4, I mean that's the way definitely to do it. But all right, let's go back to kind of your question here as we move to the next range. You got Devontae Smith, Kareem Hunt, Dallas Goedert. He's a little further down here. Hollywood Brown, Pacheco, which kind of feels like Kansas City's been going away from a little bit. What are we doing here with this range? Because this range, I think there's like one clear play, and then the rest of them are very, iffy to me. And I know I'm gonna have to like play one of these other guys in this range probably, but I don't really love this range outside of Goddard. I think Goddard's like the easiest play in this range at 5,800. Maybe a little too easy at that price tag, but I'm gonna play some Goddard captain too. I think him and Kelsey are like the two best captains with the price included here. I just think he's going to be the safety guy. I think they're both going to be just like the safety valves for both their quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts has thrown to this guy 8 targets last game. I think he's going to get another probably 7 or 8 in this game. And that's 8 targets where Jalen Hurts only has to throw. Like I said, like if this is a game where it's a track meet back and forth and he's throwing more, maybe Goddard gets 10 targets here. So I like that. Tony, I'll throw it back to you. What are you doing with this range here?
Yeah, I mean, I agree a lot of that, especially the Chiefs running backs. Like that's one plays I'm just not going to go to. I don't know how you can really decide which one. I think it's Hunt, but I agree with ODB. Like, would I be surprised if it was Pacheco? Would I be surprised even if it somehow was P. Ryan got extra work? I wouldn't be too shocked with Andy Reid. I'm confident, though, that I don't like those running backs. I like Goddard just as much, but I do think Hollywood Brown is a really good play, too. I know he didn't get there last week, but the price point is just really nice for the projection and the floor. I think even though he had, like, let me pull up his exact stuff. He 5 targets, only 3 for 35. I get that that's low, but I think – no, I wasn't. I was sitting there listening. Stop trying to cause problems, Josh. I was sitting there. I was looking at stuff. I was listening. Stop trying to cause problems.
I think he was dying to talk. I'm going to go on Josh's side here. I think he was dying.
I'm always honest. I wasn't at that point. Sometimes I am, not this time. But I think those are 2 of the best plays on the slate, honestly. Maybe the 2 best. I don't think either one of them is a captain for me because I don't think either one really has that type of ceiling, like I said in the last segment. But 2 of the best flex plays, 100%, are Goddard and Hollywood Brown for me. I think they both get like 14 fantasy points. I think that's perfect for the way the pricing lines up. And I love both of them. So not captains for me, but 100% I love them in the flex. And I won't go down to like kickers and stuff because I think that's a different conversation. So in this range, no running backs. Definitely Goddard and Hollywood, though, for me.
I like that. No running backs, Goddard, Hollywood as well. ODB, you were talking about that range. I mean, does that kind of?
I want to ask Big T's opinion because I know yours. My main source of I guess my 2v2 on the lineup that I'm looking to play is Worthy and Devontae. 2 guys who are fast and have ceilings, but also have kind of lowish floors versus Kelsey and Goddard, who I think have good floors, but the ceilings I don't find as high. So Big T, you got Worthy and Devontae, or you have the 2 tight ends. So that's basically negligible price wise.
First of all, I do think it's a tough 2v2 because it's crazy because I kind of disagree with one. I don't think Devontae is a very good play. He just hasn't been good. But I actually think Worthy's safer than other people. I mean, he's got crazy volume, crazy floors. I think Worthy's actually way safer than Kelsey. I know JSU disagrees because he talked about it, but I think Kelsey's safe too, but I think Worthy is very, very safe in this game. But Goddard, I agree with JSU in the fact that I think Goddard is like the best flex play on the entire slate. Like I'm very confident Dallas Goedert gets 14 fantasy points. I don't think he gets 20-something. I don't think he gets 8. I think he gets 14 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So it's a tough 2v2. So I was going to give you a strong answer, but because I don't like Devontae at all. I just don't like Devontae in this spot.
Really?
But
Don't like Devontae, huh?
I would probably
All right.
choose Worthy and Devontae though, just because I do think Kelsey and Goddard.
I mean, I can
more-
obviously go Worthy Goddard and just upgrade somewhere else, but it was
Yeah, or just leave 1,000. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Kelsey Goddard is definitely the safer path, 1,000,000%. But yeah.
So if you had to choose Worthy or Kelsey, you're going Worthy. And if you have to choose Goddard or Smith, you're going Goddard.
I think Worthy is a better play than Travis Kelsey for sure. Yes.
Gotcha.
All right. There we go.
And the interesting too, just to polish it, and then JFC can done. But
yeah, go for it.
So you save 1,000, which gives you a little bit more creativity, like in other spots, but his projection's higher, and I just think he's a better play. So if the projection's higher and he's cheaper, and I think he's a better play, it's tough not to just take even if you leave 1,000, then you're a little more unique. Maybe.
Were these projections higher than Kelsey's?
I mean, they're super close depending on where you look, but if you look at all the sites, his projection's higher. Yeah.
Wow.
But it's close. I mean, it's within a point. It's not like it's some crazy difference.
Because I don't want it to make it sound like I don't like Worthy either. I'm just surprised that his projection's higher than Kelsey. Like that to me, I'm actually glad. That makes me feel better.
On Sabre, it's a half point higher. A couple other sites, it's 1 point higher. On Run Pure, we got Kelsey 1 point higher. So it's all negligible.
Yeah.
I was just going to say this is the difference, and this is something that you can find how the smart people in the fantasy industry view guys versus how the square books and bettors see things. Because Travis Kelsey's over under, I believe, is somewhere around 60. Worthy's is somewhere around 50. Kelsey's projection on or his receptions is like 6.5, and Worthy's is like 5.5. So Worthy is projected to be worse than Kelsey in every metric there is from a sports betting perspective. But yet every sharp site, well, not every sharp site. I mean, I'm not to say you guys have Kelsey a little, but they're basically negligible when it comes down to it. In their projections, they're pretty darn close, if not Worthy ahead. But it's basically just a coin flip. So it just kind of tells you how these books are really just going based on the square betting public. The fact that they have Travis Kelsey numbers ahead of Worthy numbers, and the projections don't have it that way from the sites.
So on DraftKings Sportsbook right now, Travis Kelsey for 60 yards is -122. Xavier Worthy.
Save this stuff for the one we pull up gambling. Just remember.
Okay. All right. Because I was gonna lean into it, but okay.
Because I'll pull it up and we can actually pull it up and look at the different stuff.
All right. So let's go to the next range here, and the next range is the kickers in defense. I do think it's a very interesting conversation what you do with kickers and defenses, because I feel very confident we're going to see one or two of these on the winner. I think we're going to see a kicker and or defense, maybe 2 of the 4 on the winner here. I got to get you guys' takes on this. ODB, I know you like the Philly defense, and I do think the Philly defense is probably the better fantasy defense because they create a shitload of turnovers. They get to the quarterback, they'll get sacks, they create turnovers. They've had double-digit fantasy points in 4 of the last 5 games. All 3 playoff games, they've had 10 or more fantasy points. What are you doing with defenses and kickers, ODB?
For me, it's, I want to like the Eagles defense, but I just don't think I can really get there. I think that it's just clear to me that it's Butker. The Chiefs are very good at getting into the red zone, and they're very bad at scoring touchdowns. The Eagles are very good at letting teams into the red zone and very good at stopping people from scoring touchdowns. The Chiefs are very conservative by nature and just want to get this game into the fourth quarter in a 1-score game so that they can pull a rabbit out of their hat again. So I feel like that's just everything's weighted towards Butker. Meanwhile, the Eagles play a four down offense. They have a kicker they don't really trust as much, and they also go for it a lot more on 4th and 3, 4th and 4, 4th and 2. They set up the fourth downs by on 3rd and 4, running things to get themselves to a manageable fourth down, where sometimes the Chiefs are just going to drop back and throw a screen that goes for -2 and have to kick a field goal. So I think it's just clear Butker's a really good play for me. I think that I definitely see him as kicking multiple field goals, and that's a way for me to get some Chiefs exposure and also just the game flow that I'm thinking. And the one thing that I've learned from listening to you guys is create the script of the game that the way that you think it's going to play out and build your team that way. And so for me, if the game's going to go the way that I think it is, I think that the Eagles allow a lot of short passes, not touchdowns, and kick some field goals. So that just leads me right to Butker. And I also think the Eagles know that they don't want to be in a one-score game in the fourth quarter, so they're going to go for it more often, and they're going to try to create margin because they don't want to leave this in the hands of Patrick Mahomes with 2 minutes left.
All right, there we go. Yeah, good point by you. I was going to bring it up that the Chiefs offense is like the best offense in the playoffs at getting into the red zone. Not the best offense at converting touchdowns once they get into the red zone, but the best offense at getting into the red zone, which could mean we could see some stall outs and some field goals on their side. So I do like the Butker take there. I definitely like him as a play. Big T, where are you at with kickers and defenses?
Yeah, I agree with you guys that it's a good range to get different at this in this contest too. Just looking at the ownerships, I mean, you're talking under 20% for all 4 of these spots, which again, we're trying to win. We're trying to win these big contests. Super Bowl has huge contests. You can't go in and just literally play at least that's not how I play. Some people could go in and put a chalk type team in there, but that's just not what I'm going to do in this. So you got to get a little different. And I think it starts with these positions. And I like the defenses more than the kickers, but I do like the kickers too. So like one of the things I'm kicking around is like playing Eagles defense with the Pat Mahomes captain. A lot of the stuff we've done in the past, just I'm playing around with it though. Eagles defense with Mahomes captain, Chiefs D with Hurts captain type things, different scenarios like that. Also, one of my sneaky plays, only in the Millie Maker, not in other stuff, but that Ramijo dude that returns kicks for the Chiefs is 200, obviously. Playing the Chiefs defense with him is just uber contrarian, and you can fit 4 studs with it. So that's one of my like Millie Maker approaches I'm definitely going to do. And granted, you got to have a return kick, and it's only worth 6 points, but you never know when he comes in and a trick play reverse, or I don't know what Andy Reid's got up his sleeve. I know no one's going to play the Ramijo dude, though, and he's 200. So you could win a lot of money with a take like that. So it's just one of them I'm kicking around. I do like the Butker call, though, where they stall out, and I think they're going to be more conservative than Philly will be, depending on game script, obviously. If it's needed, then they won't be. But in a close game, I could see them kicking field goals more so than Philly. No tush push, stuff like that. But I like all these, honestly. It's all going to come down to roster build. And I do agree with JSU too. I don't know my rule yet. I will put it on my spreadsheet though. If you sign up for Run Pure, when my stuff's up, you'll see all my rules for SaberSim on there. I like one of these guys for sure. One of the 4, maybe 2. I don't think I'll set a rule for 2, but I'd be okay with 2. I do like 1 though. I think one of these 4 ends up on the winner for sure. I like the Chiefs defense a lot, but only because I think they're the lowest owned of this group too. I think they might end up 10% or something, which is crazy on this slate to me.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I feel like if people are going to play the defenses, they're going to look at even people that like the Chiefs side will probably like the Eagles more for the DFS portion of it, just because of the turnovers and stuff like that. So, but 2 good defenses, I could see either way. And I never asked you guys this, but The over under, are you guys on like the over, the under? What, we got through the side, but we never talked about the over or the under. I mean, Big T, do you like points in this game? It's
I
48 and a
like
half.
over. I think both teams score. I think Philly
Okay.
scores. I think the Chiefs score. But that doesn't mean I don't like the defenses, though, because I
No.
think the defenses can score too and turn turnovers. I think both teams can return a kick even. I like points in the game, though, for sure.
Yeah. ODB, points, yay, nay?
I lean over, but I think the number's pretty good, honestly. It's pretty close to all the projected scores I've run through my head. They're all pretty close. I think both these teams are pretty efficient. The one thing that concerns you for an over is just that both teams drive the ball down the field. They take up the clock. But it just really all comes down to, in a situation like this, it's, do the teams convert fourth downs? Where do they convert them, or where do they turn the ball over on fourth down? Things like that. I lean over, but it's definitely not a strong love.
Yeah, I think I lean under just for the point that you talked about. You got two teams that can do a really good job draining that clock and taking a possession and making it really long. I mean, you brought up the fact that Mahomes throws a shitload of passes behind the line of scrimmage. The Eagles run the football. And like I said, too, if the Chiefs can stop the big play, that doesn't mean they stop the Eagles offense, right? I'm just saying they stop the big play. That means that instead of a 50-yard run where it's a short drive, they make the Eagles do a long drive because they can actually make the tackles and stuff. So they changed that from a 50-yard run to a 7 to 10-yard run. That's going to take more time off the clock. And I also think you're going to see more field goals. It's the Super Bowl. I think these teams, I know Andy Reid is going to kick those field goals when they get stopped inside that red zone. Unless it's like 4th and 1, 4th and 2. If it's like 4th and 5, 4th and 6, he's going to kick the field goal. And I think that kind of like follows suit there with the Eagles. The Eagles might go for it more, but even them, I think if the Chiefs are kicking field goals, they're going to want to match. So I would lean the under, I guess. But like you said, it's not like my favorite bet or anything like that. I just wanted you guys' takes on it because I forgot to ask about it. All right, let's go to the bottom feeders here. I've heard Noah Gray's name a lot, and I've heard it in like both ways. Some people really like Noah Gray, and some people want all his unders. So I've heard it kind of both ways. He hasn't played that much in the playoffs. I think he ran 6 routes last game for the Chiefs. So he's in that range. I think D-Hop is down there. Juju Smith-Schuster, I've heard some love. People like him. Samaje Perine, Big T brought up. What are we doing with this range of kind of the shitters? I mean, I feel like Juju is going to be popular, but Tony, what's the projection saying with Juju? I assume he's going to get some ownership of that price tag.
I mean, these cheap guys, like I said, there's not going to be any that fully stick out. I just think something happens where one of these guys, which is one of the reasons I like that Remijo dude, just because he's totally random and low owned. But you said it with Noah Gray. He's one of those guys that like projects somewhat decent for the cheap range, and people remember the good games he has. The problem is when push comes to shove, he just really isn't out there that much unless Kelsey gets dinged up or something. And I regretted it last weekend so much, freaking playing him over Mac Hollins, the same price. And that wasn't even being results oriented. I regretted it quick. Like it wasn't the right move when I played Kelsey on the same team. It just was stupid. So I regretted it, but I don't see how you can play Noah Gray over Juju. And I hate Juju. I do. But I feel like the opportunity is just way more for Juju. Noah Gray could catch a touchdown or something around the goal line. I just don't see him like getting volume. Juju could easily catch 4 or 5 for 40, and maybe he catches a touchdown. I mean, he could have scored last week. He was wide open a few times. He's a veteran too, which I know they're going to trust more in these spots. I hate Juju, but he's got to be the safest down here. And the ownership doesn't look like that crazy, 15% or something. Like, I don't think that's too crazy. If you like the Eagles, which ODB does, I think Ryan's got to be the best cheap play. Only if you think the Eagles, though, because if you think the Chiefs win, Ryan won't be in there as much. But if somehow, say the Eagles are up a bunch, like ODB says, Ryan could play the whole second half or something. If they're playing from behind and just throwing, Ryan, if I like the Eagles, Ryan would be my guy, 1,000,000% down there.
Yeah,
And
that is a
other
game
guys
script play, though. That's exactly what we're talking about when you build out scripts. You can build out Eagles blowout scripts.
I'm going to build something like that where it's Eagles heavy. I think you should, because my two outcomes are what ODB said. I think if the front four gets pressure and can get Mahomes in the pocket, they're going to blow them out, I think. But if they don't, I think the Chiefs win. So those are my two. Like, I think the whole game comes down to that, which is easy to say. I think you're going to know right away what the right side is. If Mahomes can get out of the pocket and have time, they're going to win the football game. But if he gets pressure, you're in a lot of trouble. So game script dependent. Those are my two side, though. Juju from the Chiefs side, Ryan if you like the Eagles. I guess it would be Dotson as far as just like a random. I just don't think he's got he's just so bad. So it's one of the reasons that I like Remigio. I know I keep talking about him, but we're trying to just win something. He's 200, which lets me get up to other guys. And he's so fast and explosive. He was so explosive in that Bills game. He was bringing it out 7 yards deep in the end zone. You got to think they have a trick play or something for him, too, in this game. And these other guys are all bums. So, I don't know. Those are my three guys, though. Juju, Ryan, Remigio. And I know they're all – which goes to ODB's point, too. Philadelphia is more concentrated with their good players. So, play Philly's good players, play Mahomes and one of the guys, and then just take a chance or something on one of the Chiefs guys.
Yeah, I think that the Philly cheapies are like the bad, by far the bad cheapies. The Chiefs cheapies are the ones you have a shot with. Like, even though,
unless you bank an injury, like the Eagles guys are like the injury guys. If someone gets hurt,
if Kenny Gainwell gets hurt and somehow Will Shipley rips off one run, literally he gets one carry and he rips it for 50 and a touchdown, and you're like, oh well, he's optimal. You know what I mean? Which
this
you never
could
know.
be a Slate though, where it is the cheapest guy that gets 2 points wins. It definitely could be with all this stuff.
Well, Remigio, if he gets 6, Tony, I
feel confident if he somehow gets 6 that he's in really good shape.
Yeah, and I don't see many $200 guys that can get 6. No. Like literally in any scenario. Almost.
Not without an injury. Like Peyton Hendershot could play if Kelsey got hurt or something, or he could catch.
But even them, Noah Gray would probably play more. But yeah, I guess Peyton Hendershot, I guess in theory could find his way in there. But I can't play Jahan Dotson, and remember too, they don't throw the football a lot. They don't want to throw the football a lot. Even the game against Washington where it was working, he threw the ball 28 times. And I know he didn't. I'm just saying, that's what they want to do. They want to throw the ball 25 or less. 20, that's what they really want to do. They want to run the football. They want to control the clock, the Eagles. They want to be efficient, not turn the football over. If they do those things, I just don't see how Jahan Dotson is in the game plan unless he just – in that type of scramble touchdown like he had last time, where it was literally all he did. And it was at the very beginning of the game, and that was it against Green Bay. But outside of that, I just don't see it. I think you got a better chance with getting lucky with the Juju, even though I hate Juju Smith. He's one of those guys, Tony, where if I play him, I'm going to hate myself for playing him because he's going to be popular, and I never play Juju Smith-Schuster. But I don't like D-Hop either. I don't really like him. I just don't – I don't know. I'm going to have to play someone in this range. It's got to be Ryan, or Ryan doesn't fit my script, but I'll have to make some blowout scripts with Ryan in it, I guess, because I don't really like the rest of this. I think that's why I'm more on defenses and kickers, though, too. That's why I might make the rule 2 of them, just because I hate the cheapies there.
If your worst guy in your lineup is a defense kicker or Goddard or Hollywood, you definitely have a better floor, 100%.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
hard to
that's
do.
why
It's
I
hard
think
to.
the
It's hard to
Goddard
do that.
captains are okay in a lower scoring script.
Yeah.
Where
I mean,
Goddard
you're definitely
gets.
going to have a safer team, 100% for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Am I gonna have a team that's gonna win the Millie outright? Probably not. Like, probably not.
See,
Those teams
I find,
are probably winning.
to me, it just feels safer to have the 1.5 times fucking Barkley, Hurts, or Mahomes, who's just are going to score 30. Like they're going to score 25 plus, whatever, 20 or to 25 plus their
Yeah, but
half
what we're saying
bonus.
is the last guy's in floor
I
is
understand, but your
obviously
last guy in floor, like you're getting an extra 10 points from your captain. Like your floor guy doesn't have to do anything. But um I think that these bottom tier guys, they're all going to be made up like we say of one or two catches. Their floors are really low, which are always going to be the case with the bottom tier guys. P Ryan, the thing that I like about him is it seems like Reed. I mean, the most important play in that Buffalo game, they put him in, P Ryan in. He caught the ball. I think they trust him in pass protection. So I think he can be okay. I also think the Noah Gray, I've heard a lot of sharp people have really like his under, but if you're just looking at that Washington game, like the way that they, or basically all the playoff games, I think Kraft had a good game. I know Higbee had a good game, and I know Ertz had a good game. The way to beat him is through the tight end, so they might just run Noah Gray out there more than they have in the past. The other guy that I was thinking from that low range, if you just want to touchdown dependent, is Watson. Sometimes makes a big play. Like he seems to have like this thing with Mahomes where, like I don't know, just seems like the ball's in the air and you look up and it's White 84 running down the field and it's whether he catches it or not. I feel like I see that a lot. For his lack of snaps, he always seems to like get a high leverage look. So I think Watson for me would be better than the Remiglio
he
guy,
caught the
but I
2-point
understand
conversion. He
yeah.
caught the 2-point conversion.
So he's in
Literally out of
there
nowhere.
like P Ryan and Watson are guys that like Mahomes kind of has a little more trust in than some of these guys, but I don't know. It is such a crapshoot. That's why, I don't think there's the only eagle that I would say from the bottom that I would consider is if you're playing the Millie Maker stuff and you're gonna fade Barkley, you might as well put Gainwell in there. Maybe he pulls something. Maybe he gets a concussion. Maybe he whatever. You never know what
He
happens
at
in these
least has
football
outs.
games.
Like,
He has outs
for sure.
I mean, he has outs to a 20-point game.
Yeah.
I mean, running backs get concussions, running backs pull hammies, running backs get hit on their knee. Like they
Everyone
sprain
always
ankles.
makes fun of us for talking about injuries, but it's true.
I mean, it's not like a quarterback like Siege says. I mean, Gainwell can still get there on his own anyway on the 5 or 8 snaps that he gets. Anyway, he can still get like the points. You see a lot of times Barkley breaks off a long run and then he comes out to, get rest for, a play or two and it's Gainwell. Like he breaks it sometimes. So, I would say that the only eagle that I would consider at the bottom of the pricing list would be Gainwell.
All right, there we go. That's the whole DFS showdown right there. Everything else, if you guys want, like the full player pools, the cores, and everything, we'll have that up over at Rumpier Sports. Big T's full player pool will be up this weekend with all of his rules and everything that he's setting. My 3 Max core will be up. So you guys can check those out over at Rumpier Sports. You can use code RPS15 if you want to check those out. Get you 15% off. RPS 15 for that 15% off. All right, Big T, we're gonna do the old gambly part of this show now, where we're gonna take everyone through the props using Gambly, and I know you're gonna get the screen share up, so give me 1 sec, and you are good now, my friend, to pull up the screen share.
Yeah, so what you guys were talking about, Kelsey, and first of all, the cool thing about Gambly, for those of you that haven't seen it, everything you want to search can pop up, but it's even better for the Super Bowl because they got a special part where click Super Bowl, you got everything here, main markets, like everything you could possibly want. Like
All
it'll show you
right,
the
but
best odds.
big T. But first, I don't know anything about Gambly here. I'm stumbling on this show right now. What is Gambly? What does it do for you? How does it help you as a sports bettor?
So everyone always wants to bet stuff with the best line, and these days there's so many different books and stuff. So let's just say your buddies always send you prop bets that you want to put in parlays, because I think that's the most common for, like, when I go to my kids' games, all the parents are like, "What parlay you got tonight? What?" That's what people love. All the casuals love the single game parlay stuff, but they probably don't know how to bet it, honestly. Like if I'm sending stuff, they don't know how to bet Patrick Mahomes rushing yards over. So let's just say you think Patrick Mahomes rushing yards. You want to bet this. You just literally type in here, Mahomes rushing yards. Gambly's going to pull up the best price. Let's hope it works when I pull it up. It should, but with the Super Bowl, it'll give you all the best lines. And then when you click it, it'll bring you straight to the book to bet it. And then you can send it to your buddies and be like, here's the link for it if you want to bet it. Feels like it's like frozen on.
And it will pull up right into your app when you click it, right, Big T? So like you click it and it will go right to your phone app. Like let's say DK has the best line. So you click DK,
so right
and then
here,
it'll go right there.
Yep. Rushing yards. So right here, you want to bet it. Boom, you got all the different books, DraftKings 29.5. So immediately you can kind of see what the numbers are everywhere. But just say you want to bet it on our partner, DraftKings, over. It's going to pull up just like this. So literally, if you click bet now, it'll bring you straight to DraftKings, it's awesome. It's the best thing. I'm not saying it because I'm involved with it either. It's just the best thing ever if you like sports betting. And you can click the share now button, which will then pull up with something like this. And if you just share it, like you can't see the top of my screen because it cuts it off. But if you just copy the link from that and put it in your text thread, it'll bring them straight to the same bet. So if your grandpa or your dad has no idea how to use technology, you send them the link. All they got to do is click it. It'll bring them straight to DraftKings or FanDuel or wherever you want to bet your stuff.
Which so I love because personally, I have people in my life, and I'm sure you do too, Tony, who always ask me, hey, what are you on? What are you betting? Especially for big games and stuff. And this is just perfect because now I can literally just copy a link to everything I'm betting and just text it to them, and they can click it, and it's like dummy proof almost.
I do love that AP's calling you out too with the gambly. That's his accent. I almost said something, and then AP gets in there.
What's wrong with gambly?
Oh, you add the letter. There's no O in there. It's gambly. There's no.
I'm trying to emphasize, bro. All right, I'm trying to help. Listen, I love Cal. Love Cal Spears, one of the best people in the industry. He's one of the guys who started this company, and I'm trying to help him out here. I'm trying to make it sound as cool as possible. I'm trying to emphasize it more for him. You know, give it a little heart, Tony, for the Super Bowl. You got to give it a little
better too, to be honest. Gambling.
Yeah. See? Just trying to help my guy out.
Here. So look at the cool part. So that this hub with everything though, like some of the fun bets. So you got obviously coin toss. People love that stuff. But then you got all these random ones like jersey number of first TD scorer. Like, I mean, all this stuff. What's
bring up the coin toss though, real quick, Tony. Bring up the coin toss because I think DraftKings it's plus both sides, right? For the coin
plus
toss.
100, so you get a true flip. I know people love betting stuff like this.
Well, I was going to say that because on some it's not the plus. You know, on some it's like minus.
If you're betting a coin toss at anything other than plus 100, you're more degen than even we are.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So bet that on DraftKings if you're
at least bet it on DK at plus 100 if you're going to bet it. At least you're getting
I'm not advocating to bet it, to be clear, but I'm saying if you are going to bet it, please get plus 100 or better, but not worse.
What's the sharp Gatorade color winner?
Oh God.
ODB's always got some sharp angles from some of these things. What's the sharp angle, ODB?
I have no idea. I think purple's been the two Chiefs one. So I think
purple
maybe
both times.
Well, I think I heard that, but I don't know.
I've never actually seen the color. They don't
you don't
show
see it when they dump it on the coach.
Like you can just tell the color immediately. Like
it's a whole bucket going on.
It happens so fast, though. I don't know.
All right. Can I
love it.
I've never used this before.
Yeah, tell me.
So can you switch it to Nevada?
I mean, it'll have all of them, I think. Let's see.
All right, let's go to Nevada and I'll give you one and let's see where I should go bet it. I
Yep.
wanna bet Saquon over
Hold on, let
150
me make
yards.
sure I got all the. So in Nevada, you can't use DK and FanDuel, right?
Correct.
So you
Yeah.
are these all the ones you got? What other ones?
No, that's looks
Circa?
like it. Yeah, Circa for sure.
These are
I
the
don't
4
even
good
know.
ones?
Do we have Bet Rivers? I don't even know about Bet Rivers, but I guess it's
They
there
clicked
somewhere.
it, so I'm assuming, but maybe. I don't know.
All right,
Okay.
let's go. Find me
That's cool.
find me
So it just
100.
auto knew every book that was in that state. That's pretty
Yeah.
simple.
I mean, the
Find me
technology.
100. Find me 150 yards for Saquon. I've seen it at like 330, something like that. I want to know where the best place to get it is.
Let's see.
Dude, I think I
Saquon
might be
ladder
colorblind
rushing.
with Tony. I think me and Tony are both colorblind now. I think I think I figured it out. I might just be colorblind.
What did I do?
No, from the Gatorade comment, I think I might
Oh.
just be colorblind, like
Yeah.
Big T. I don't
I'm
know how
definitely
he can see
colorblind.
it. I don't know how he could see it.
Because it's only blue and purple and red and orange. That
So
I'm
this one says Caesars is plus 340.
Yeah.
That's the best one. Because I saw like, why doesn't it have Circa on there?
Maybe it's not offering that yet or something. I don't know.
I saw
You
Circa
see it on
was like-
Circa?
Yeah, it's like plus 330 or something like that.
It might just be because I don't know why it doesn't. Maybe it's just not picking it up right this second.
Yeah, but so Caesars 340. To me,
Yep.
that seems like a good one because like the regular over under is like what, 112 or something?
110 I saw on DK.
110. So
Yeah,
like
I
if
mean,
he's gonna
you're
get
right in here where
110,
it's
why
minus
can't he get
150,
100?
yeah.
Why can't he get 150?
I love ladders. One of my favorite parts of gambling is the ladder stuff because say you like it, you can just come in and click a few of these to go up and work your way
I can
up.
guarantee you, Big T, pull up Xavier Worthy receiving yards. I can guarantee you this man by the end of this weekend is going to be betting Xavier Worthy ladders.
I'm gonna do it just like this. Yeah, so like his prop is somewhere. Oh, I did receptions. Let me go to yards. So yards, I mean, like you guys said, like 62 yards right in here. So yeah, you can go 70, 80, 90, 100, like all those and just ladder them right up. I love the ladders.
Yeah, go back to the one with all the sports books, Big T. Go back to your
Kentucky.
Yeah, just so we can see like DK and all those other ones. Yeah, what's another prop bet that you guys like? What else do we like here? Dallas Goedert. We all like Dallas Goedert, right? What's Dallas Goedert? It's like a receptions prop or something.
So 4.5. Bookmaker. I don't know about it. So here we go. Receiving. I don't know about the yards, but receptions 4.5 across the board. I mean, over is 145, 135.
135 on DK.
Pretty standard everywhere, honestly. The number, except for over here, is a big number, but this just shows you how much you can say. Like, look at all the different book prices and stuff.
Yeah, and you can get the best line, which is the best. Now you can literally see it's so much better than having to like, I've done this before where you go and check all the book. Like you go one by, you go
it takes forever, and then you still got to click it. So another thing I like, so when I go through and do all my bets, I'll just click it, and then it'll save in here. Just close it like this, and then it'll keep them all down here for you to where you can just do it in one thing. So like all the ones I like,
Yeah, and then you can literally send like 9 of them at once. If you bet like 9 things, you can literally just send them all like that, right? It's all the same link. You just copy that link after you put all your bets in and stuff like that. So, any other bets that we were looking at here, Big T? Anyone else you wanted to?
Here comes Cam.
She always has to make an appearance.
I wish I could lift Reggie up like that and put him up here on camera.
I pulled it back.
That's not good.
She's already chosen. She's on Barkley MVP.
Barkley. Oh yeah, MVP odds. Who? Big T, pull up MVP odds. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, find me Barkley MVP. Let's find the best. Let's find the best.
Anyone in chat too, if you got something you want us to pull up, you can type it in there. We'll pull it up.
Super Bowl MVP. Mahomes at 120.
He's higher than Ertz. 375. Keep going.
This is another feature though that I love, just because you can literally see each person and where they have the best price at. So Xavier Worthy's 31 to freaking, I like that price. And AJ Brown. I like those prices if they somehow house a few deep ones or something.
I would like to suggest that nobody bets Patrick Mahomes to win the MVP. If you like Mahomes, do not take the extra. If you like the Chiefs, do not take the extra juice. It's not enough. Yes, he's most likely going to win it, but I think I heard that he has to win MVP like 91% of the time they win the game for him to for that price to be worth it.
It could easily be like a Kelsey too, with the Taylor Swift effect. With the,
I'm betting Kelsey at 16-1 or whatever it is.
It could also be a defensive player. I mean, it could be everything.
That's the best thing ODB said the whole show, because you know how many times I've heard people be like, "I'm taking Mahomes just because if they win, he's the MVP." And
yeah, I mean, have you ever watched football? Yeah, probably. But I mean, what if Worthy takes two reverses back and
watching that says that too? It's not like you're betting like 10 grand. Like, it's people betting $50. You're literally picking up like $4 of equity.
Exactly.
Bet the Chiefs.
Just bet the Chiefs. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, at least if you bet the Eagles, you can bet Barkley or Hurts, whatever.
Because you're actually getting a return.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
betting the Chiefs. I'm betting Mahomes MVP. I'm like, what? Why?
It's literally the worst bet that you could make in my opinion, is betting Mahomes to win MVP, especially if you haven't watched the Chiefs this year. Like they sometimes win with defense. Go back and look at the logs of the games of the Chiefs.
65-1.
I mean, Chris Jones could be the MVP. If Chris Jones gets a couple sacks and maybe he gets a fumble and he takes it to the house or something, and the Chiefs win like 20-17, he could be MVP easily.
There are ways the Chiefs win without Mahomes, and you're not getting enough. Now, if it was plus 160, like, okay, yeah, I can see it. But I mean, the difference between basically even money and 120, it's like literally nothing.
Dallas Goedert 120-1 for you.
I got Jalen Carter.
I like it. You said you got even higher, right? 150.
I got 125 at circa
like a good bet.
2 weeks ago.
I like some of these down here just to take some. I don't like Hop, but I like some of these other dudes. Like even Pacheco. There's at least a path where he could somehow do it.
Oh no, I
don't like it for fantasy. I'm just saying there's a path.
The problem. I mean, we've already seen Damian Williams had an amazing game in that Niners game, and he didn't win MVP. There's no path to a running back for the Chiefs. I don't think. But there are defensive and receiver paths, but I don't think there's a running back path.
What about the Great White Hope cornerback here, DeJean? You have any? What's his?
I mean, he has to house a couple. I mean,
look at that guy. LDB, you're betting on that dude in your secondary. Look at that guy.
Have you seen that tackle versus Henry? I mean, that's the tackle of the year.
Look at that dude right there. You're betting on that dude against Patrick Mahomes.
That dude is an exciting white.
An exciting white.
Who else has got
all right.
What
if you guys had to give like your favorite prop bet, what are we going to here? Any bet on the board you could make, what would be your like favorite bet to give out to the people? ODB, you got like a favorite bet? You can only give one.
I would just say something Saquon related. I think that this is just a heavy Saquon game, and so I would lean into that. Find your best one. I don't think they really they don't like his receiving, but I think I think I would like Saquon. I think his receiving numbers are pretty small, and I think they're going to do everything they can to get the ball in this man's hands. So it's probably a pretty small number. So I like Saquon receiving. I like Saquon rushing. I'm just all in on Saquon on this game. I think that he just really has a big game. And then just the obscure one, I just saw Circa's got 7.5 yards receiving for P. Ryan. I think it's a trailing script. I think P. Ryan's going to get a little run. So I think he'll get a couple dump offs. So I would say my obscure one is the P. Ryan over 7.5, and my more mainstream one would be something Barkley related, whether it's receiving yards or rushing yards. I think it's a heavy Barkley game.
Yeah, my favorite prop is Patrick Mahomes over 5.5 rushing attempts on DraftKings Sportsbook. It's, I think, minus 134 right now on DK Sportsbook, but that's that. I think he runs the ball like 10 times, so I will take the over 5.5. Tony, you're building yourself out a nice little DraftKings parlay.
You guys, one of the coolest features of Gambly. When you get it, it should. I don't know. I'm hoping it works on the spot, but I'm going to give it.
You could do it if you like my script. Like you have to. Like the only way P. Ryan's receiving yards gets over most likely is if the Eagles are winning. So you could parlay receiving yards with.
What's his receiving yards though? Like
Eagles over points or Barkley or something like that. Because for P. Ryan to be in, they have to be down a couple scores probably. So it's not really a bad thing to parlay it with. Like
his receiving prop is 7.5. Like he's gonna get some plays no matter what. He can easily get that. But here, Big T's building out a DraftKings parlay using.
Yeah, it did pull it up. Look at that ODB. Eagles money line, P. Ryan over, and I put his in there, which I actually think fits that script too.
Fits it perfectly.
Over. Let's see what it. Will it give it to me? Will it pop it up? Let me see. It pulls it up on my other screen at +6. I know that's not right. It won't let me parlay it for some reason on DraftKings.
Yeah, I can't parlay Patrick Mahomes in the Philly money line. I just tried it.
Come on, DraftKings. Why can't we do this? They know it's a winner.
The rushing attempts is a winner. I take the rushing attempts out, Big T. I bet you can parlay it.
Yeah, right there. So that's what I'm saying though about being.
I just gave you the winner, people. Rushing attempts over. Go for it.
Well, I want to let you parlay that.
I do like building scripts with P. Ryan receiving, with Eagles over 24.5 points. Eagles win. Largest lead over 14 or whatever that is. Like anything that's gonna have him in the ballgame more, which is more just the Eagles scoring points. So kind of interesting ways to kind of get exposure to
now,
that.
I wonder if you can parlay his rushing yards, Big T. Like I wonder if you do that. Let's see. I'm just gonna try it and see if I can do it. So I can parlay his rushing yards, just not his attempts on DraftKings. So if you want to do yards, you can.
It's probably set up because rushing attempts and money lines maybe can't be parlayed because Patrick Mahomes, it's probably set to stop you from doing Patrick Mahomes rushing attempts with Chiefs win because of the kneel down factor. So I think it's probably set up where rushing attempts by a quarterback can't be parlayed with the game money line.
Possibly, yeah. Either way, you can do the yards though too.
The yards is probably better. I would rather have.
Of course. We're getting the worthy parlay going here.
No, I wouldn't let. This is what I thought would happen the first time. I wonder why it doesn't let me. Did I type it wrong? Let me see. Build me a DraftKings parlay with Chiefs to win.
Maybe you need to put receiving over 100 receiving yards.
Over 100.
Oh yeah, reception.
Yards. If I could spell.
I was gonna say, what are the odds you can spell receiving?
I'm not gonna make fun.
I'm actually a good speller. I have you know.
I'm not, so I will not make fun of you.
Xavier Worley over $1 reception. Let's see. I think that could be it.
Listen, man, going Diami Brown props hit all playoffs, bro. Don't be fucking around with my guy. Don't be hating.
Man,
Diami Brown props fucked.
I think you should be able to do it, but I'm typing something wrong, I'm sure.
Maybe Dallas Goddard. Do you spell that one right?
I think so. Yeah, that has to be right.
I have no idea. I don't know how to spell either.
Yeah. They get the point, though. We basically showed all the stuff we need to show.
So go check out the Gambly app here, download it, and
It's actually
try it out.
cool. When I was playing around with before the show, too, I can show one more thing, too, just because.
I'm going to tell you one thing that I'm excited about, you talking about that. I don't have it, but next year, like for futures, like that seems like the nuts, because you can get really big differences when it comes to futures on over-unders, win NFC, win AFC, win AFC East, like all the different things that we like to do.
Yeah.
Miss the playoffs, make the playoffs. Like the books are not all that correlated with those, because like they get early action and they move the lines, and
we might just have a weekly screen share of this as we talk games, just to show the win playoffs and all that stuff, and miss playoffs, all those things. We might just keep this up on the thing, because it is.
I mean, it's just
cool.
And it's free right now. Like, I don't know if it'll be free forever, but there's no reason anyone that makes bets should use it. Like, again, it's not even because I'm associated with it. It's because it's the best. It makes your life easier. But I wanted to show this too, because it's at unabated, nothing to do with gambling, but it has everything on here for the Super Bowl. Like, look at this. Rushing attempts. Literally anything you want to look up is on this page right here. And it's pretty cool to have it all in one spot. Rushing yards, like freaking everything. I do like Xavier Worthy over rushing as well. But like when you go down the list, it's just all here. Mahomes, 29.5. And you can see all the different prices too. So this page, I think, is freaking awesome too for the Super Bowl.
So you like Worthy. We've established that. What do you think is more likely? Over his reception total or over his yards total? Because I tend to think that he's going to get volume, but not yards. But I feel like you've mentioned yards a lot more. What are your thoughts? Would you, if you could only bet one, over receptions?
I like
or over
receptions
yards?
just because I think they get them involved. Like, I think they throw the under, just how they've done it the whole last 7-8 weeks, where they throw these crossers and different things to get them on the move. Even the little like shovel pass that Mahomes loves to throw. I would choose receptions, but I like both. And one good point though, like, so look at this. This is how you can use a site like Unabated too. Like right here, FanDuel, over 5.5 receptions. DK under 6.5. I know it's only one, but that is a good middle in something like this.
That's
a
really
whole
nice.
Reception middle, like that's awesome.
Wow, that's really nice for a small, not that much juice difference either.
And it could easily fall 6. Like it's very likely that he catches 6 passes. So I mean, that's yards. My fault. I was thinking it was receptions in my head. So it's not as good being yard, but still, it's a good middle. I thought it was receptions when I was saying it though.
And this does tell you, like, some of these books, like, are just charging exorbitant juice. Like, look at the go up one spot where you just right here. Like, let's just say right here, Mahomes, you've got a 112 and a 110 on yards. And then you look all the way over here and you got 120 and 110 and 118 and 110. 118 for 30.5, and you got 112 at 29.5. It's like some of these books are really fucking scummy, man. You got to be
brutal,
careful,
man. Like
you got to be. They're so some of them are so greedy. Just give your business to the ones that aren't trying to screw us all over.
Right here, DraftKings. I mean that right here, DraftKings FanDuel.
DraftKings sponsor the show.
DK partner. Big T. Anything else with this here?
I mean, it is annoying with these. Like, why do we have to charge 30-cent juice on these props? I mean, come on, people.
MGM's the nut low, man.
Come on, MGM.
They're the worst.
You guys want to look at any other while I got it up? What's some other ones we like?
I mean, I like under Hunt. I don't think Hunt's going to do much. So, I think Hunt's going to be in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, 43.5 is a lot too.
I bet his under. I bet Noah Gray under 1.5 catches.
D-Hop hasn't even played. He's like a trendy pick. I mean, I know there's juice on the under here, but like he ain't gonna catch 2 passes.
If you're not gonna take him out at home versus the Bills, then why are you taking him out at the? Yeah, he's he's been benched. I mean, what a fall. I mean, these guys just fall off the cliff. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
Hopkins was, I mean, I remember like the preseason, like with Will Levis, people were projecting him like 60, 70th overall. Like, and then all of a sudden now he can't get on the worst wide receiver room in the country. He can't get on the field. He's losing snaps to Juju Smith-Schuster, who the Patriots cut. I mean, it's bad.
If you're losing snaps to Juju, you got problems. Like you got
Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes definitely love Juju for some reason, though. I'll just throw that out there. Like they definitely love Juju.
Here was your guys' earlier though. So you guys were talking about this. So I wanted to bring it up because we didn't talk. So Kelsey, 60 and basically 60, low 60s. Xavier Worthy, mid 50s, depending on where you're looking. Again, these are like decent sized middles too. I mean, right here you got a 3-yard middle. That's a decent sized middle. But so you're talking an extra 5 or so yards, and then receptions. I'm sure. Where's receptions? Receptions, you're 6.5. So what the juice on the under? So you're giving Kelsey like 6 catches, Xavier Worthy 1 less catch. So 5, exactly what ODB and JSU were saying. 1 less catch, 5 to 10 extra yards. And the touchdowns, it has to be more like, where's the touchdowns, I wonder? The touchdowns might not be on this.
But it just basically shows you that who do you trust? Do you trust the gambling sites or you just trust the fantasy projection sites? Because the gambling sites tell you that Travis Kelce is
Worthy's like a Slate. Worthy's like plus 165 on DraftKings. Kelsey's plus 145.
So Kelsey's better in every metric, right. Although Worthy's got to have a slight rushing projection though too.
Yeah, but the books are basically telling you that Kelce should be projected higher than Worthy, but the fantasy sites are basically telling you it's a toss-up to Worthy being better. So it just comes down to kind of who do you trust. If you trust the fantasy projection sites, then you should be playing more under Kelce over Worthy because that's what the sites are telling you. Same thing with Devontae and Goddard. Like they're neck and neck in their props, but fantasy price wise, Goddard I think is 1,600 less. So if you believe these numbers, you can Goddard's really the play. But also knowing that, like you can really get different by playing Devontae over Goddard or Kelce over Worthy, because based on the projections, you're really going to have a strong lean on the Worthy side and the Goddard side when it comes to the lineup constructions, I think.
One thing too with both those guys, and you brought up the rushing, Tony, like there's a path where Worthy and Kelce are on the optimal without Mahomes, and one of them could even be captain without Mahomes. Like there's a path where one of these guys hits the captain, because no team runs more trick plays when it comes to like rushing, like random rushing, trying to get rushing touchdowns than the Kansas City Chiefs, especially in these type of games. We saw it last game with Worthy. They challenged, it was on the play that they challenged the catch that was it an interception? Was it a catch from Worthy? And did it hit the ground? They challenged it, but what play did they run? They ran a Worthy end around trying to score. And then after they just stopped them and they challenged the play. But like I could see a path where both these guys have good games, and then somehow Mahomes doesn't have as good of a game because maybe they both get rushing touchdowns. I've seen them pretty much give Kelce a handoff before. Like, don't be shocked when weird stuff like that happens and you got like even a Chiefs winning script where Saquon's the captain. Like that could happen too. Like, so mess around with it a little bit. Do some weird things like necessary rules where like 2 pass catchers, you need a quarter. I don't think you need to do that with a team like the Chiefs because of how just like unique their offense is, and all the stops are going to be pulled out for them. I feel like Philly's offense, it's more, I don't want to say predictable, but like it's Saquon, it's Jalen Hurts rushing, and then like Tony said, it's their main guys. Like they don't kind of go around it. The Chiefs, it could be anyone, and there's a lot more trickery, I think, involved with their
You also
offense.
don't need pass catchers with Hurts. You don't need, because
Right.
Hurts can get there through the tush push and through scrambles. So
Correct.
you don't need Mahomes with the Chiefs receivers, and you don't need receivers with Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. Obviously, they're all still correlated, and if AJ has a big game, he's probably going to drag Hurts with them. So like, it's nice to have, but
how are Jalen Carter and Chris Jones to get a half sack or more plus? That seems weird. Do they not get a lot of sacks or something?
The sack numbers are really the sack numbers in this game. The props are really low. Like it's 5.5 is like a big dog to the over's a big dog.
Well,
I think each team is like 2.5.
You got to remember, nobody's going to get more attention in this game than Jalen Carter and Chris Jones. Not to say they can't beat double teams.
It's crazy that it's a half sack though. Like
it's just more both these quarterbacks kind of get out of it and turn sacks into 1-yard gains. Like that, I think that's really the issue.
Well, granted, I'm definitely no defensive expert with these guys by any means, but like, why are some of the, like, Nolan Smith's a favorite? Karlaftis is, a little bit better odds. Like, I would have thought those two would be the best odds. But
I think it's more because of the attention they get. But Karlaftis is a beast. Philly's got a bunch of good pass rushers too. We're talking about Jalen Carter. Like, they got a ton of guys off the edge. Like, they got a really good pass rush. It could be any one of those guys.
Here's your kicker props, ODB. Butker over 1.5.
Look, Butker's projected a point better. Well, on FanDuel, but I like Butker overs.
Anything else?
I also kind of like Elliott unders. The Eagles might just go for 2, like, early on. They might just be like, fuck it, we're just going balls out. If we lose, we lose, but we're going to go for all the 2s. We're going to go for all the 4th downs, and we're not going to leave this into the last 6 minutes of the game. So
you guys talked about it. You guys talked about it with Butker. They're going to kick more. Elliott, they're not. And look at the numbers; they back it up. Overs favored and unders favored. So exactly what you guys were saying.
If the Eagles get anywhere from under like 4th and 5 or less past the 50, I think they're going for it. That's the way I think they're going to play that game. So if it's just under 4th and 5 past the 50-yard line, I think they're going 98% of the time. I think they're going for it. So, and the Chiefs, I'm not 100% confident, a lot because Harrison Butker, I think they just trust way more than the Eagles trust Jake Elliott, to be honest with you, with those long field goals. But maybe the Chiefs will too. They went for it at their 28, their own 28 last game. So I guess you never really know with Andy Reid.
Here's your anytime scores.
Oh yeah, first touchdown, Tony. You see any juicy ones? I forgot about that.
No,
nothing sticking out to you. That's crazy.
First touchdowns. Right here's the board. Mahomes, maybe rushing. 20-1 in these books is pretty good for Mahomes. Goddard.
They brought the king of the end zone back for the Super Bowl.
Who we popping in our king? I got to put my boy Ramijo after I talked him up in there. I got to get him.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, so DraftKings, if you guys don't know, DK Sportsbook, they've been doing a promotion all throughout the playoffs, this king of the end zone bet. It's a great bet. They added, it's been $2 million all playoffs. It's $5 million in bonus bets for the Super Bowl. So it's $5 million in bonus bets. All you have to do is make a touchdown bet, and that person who you put in your bet is the longest scoring touchdown scorer in the game. And you can bet up to 3 players from the game. So you can essentially bet any 3 players you want from the game. The bet can lose, but if you have the longest scoring touchdown scorer in the game, you will still win a share of that $5 million. So that's the idea behind it. You're not necessarily trying to win the bet, right, Tony? We talk about the minimum's $5. So you only need to put $5 on it. And you're not trying to necessarily win the bet, even though that would be nice. You're just trying to pick the guy that's going to score the longest. And we saw Curtis Samuel week 1, right, Tony? Your boy Troy Franklin was close. I think he was number 2 that day.
No, you're bringing up bad mojo. That's my feelings.
We saw the Rams defense.
He just never misses. He never misses a chance to.
We saw
he
no.
just pulls the needle in like none other.
I'm bringing it back. We saw the Rams defense on Monday night, the first game for the Rams defense. They scored. We picked the Rams defense that day on this show. So, it again, like I said, you're kind of wanting to pick some off the board plays. I mean, if you go in and pick Saquon,
I want off the board for sure. So the chat's talking about Remigio. It won't count as a return, but if he runs a trick play, it'll count. And literally no one's going to have him. So.
Yeah,
try
if
to
you
win.
want Romeo, pick the defense. If you want the
pick them
kick
both.
return. Yeah.
Do you guys see any total long shots for this that could somehow do it?
Well, in ODB's blowout, could Will Shipley do it? He was close that one game.
Yeah, it was only because that was only because Gainwell was out.
If it's like a full blowout, though, I mean, we want a long shot. We want to try to pop something for that $5 million.
Man, your Remigio is holy shit. His first touchdown score is crazy. He's not going to score first.
I mean, he's literally going to be on the field for one play. Like he's just got to house it. But listen, how electric is it going to be though when he does house it? It's going to be electric.
It's kind of annoying that the kick return doesn't count as a touchdown for someone like him. Yeah. That kind of sucks, but man, these are two tough teams. The Chiefs definitely have better long shots, right?
And you can't take these obvious guys or you're not going to win anything. So like you gotta take a stab on something. Like you can't take Xavier Worthy in this.
Yeah, like Justin Watson. I've tried him before. He can make big plays though. Samaje Perine, I think we've tried before. But he could pop a screenplay. I mean, I think those are two good ones to kind of attack here. You see anything else, Tony, besides the defenses? Which I do like both defenses.
Yeah.
And reminder too, if you bet both defenses, you have to take a first touchdown scorer. So if you want to bet 3 and you bet both defenses, you got to take a first because people will ask me, it won't let me bet both defenses. It won't let me bet both defenses with a third guy in it. It will if you take the first touchdown scorer. So, or it should with the king of the bet or the king of the end zone bet. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
That was fun. Birds. It was a fun season. ODB, appreciate you being on with us all throughout the season. Big T, as always, you suck. And I appreciate everyone who's watched the show and had to put up with myself along with
how many years have we done it? This is our third year doing it, us three?
Yeah.
3 fun years. It's been fun run.
I appreciate y'all giving me a medium to come on and talk nonsense and rile up people. And at this point, you just got to differentiate what's trolling and what do I really feel.
That's what makes it fun. If they don't truly know, then that means you're doing your job.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best part.
That's what I always say. If you don't know I'm serious or not, then I'm doing my job.
Exactly. I love it. So.
All right. Well, you know what? If you guys want to check us out, runpuresports.com. Check the site out. It's got more than just football. We got NBA. We got golf. We've got soccer. You name it. UFC. We got it all. Try it out. RPS 15. Get in the Discord. Make sure you get in the Discord because we got one of the best Discords in the industry. And you can ask Big T, myself, JVC, everyone else here. You can ask him questions. Shoot us DMs if you have any questions, 2v2s for your lineup, stuff like that. You can give us a shout in the Discord. So hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the year. We'll be back next year. Until then, for Big T, for ODB, and myself, JSU, good luck. And hopefully everyone runs pure in the Super Bowl. Till next year. We're out of here. Peace.